This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1.
Yeah!
Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Brevet.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. Rocks and minerals. A billion reasons. All about authors. Controversial TV. Presidential campaigns. And furniture words. All right, let's get back into this. Player 1 has control of the board. This animated show proved nothing is sacred with the episode Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. Okay, Player 1. Correct. Player 1, pick again. In a speech, this real-life VP blasted fictional Murphy Brown for her choice to have a child out of wedlock. We're talking about Dan Quayle. You get to pick again, Player 1. Something up for debate is on it. Someone who's had a few too many drinks can end up under it. It's Player 1. Good. Player 1, choose again. In 1965, members of this included Robert McNamara and Stuart Udall. Yes, Player 2. Right you are. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player 2. Make us a stretch out in this garden area in which plants are grown, or perhaps here at the bottom of a lake. Here's the correct response. The bed. We return to you, Player 2. This singer's hip gyrations on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1957 were not shown because they were deemed too sexual. Okay, Player 1. Good. Player 1, you start us off. She shocked many with her wardrobe malfunction in the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yes! You again, Player 1. It was alien telekinesis that caused TV's first interracial kiss on this show. Yes, Player 1. Yes. Player 1, choose again. This empire began around 1300 and lasted until 1922. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's correct. Player 1, back to you. To phrase your words in a specific way. Here's the response we were looking for. To couch. Player 1, pick again. For its state mineral, Colorado chose rhodochrosite, which is a deep shade of this primary color. It's player 1. No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about red. Player 1, you pick again, please. This blackboard rock is formed when shale is subjected to immense heat and pressure. Player 3? Right. Player 3, start us. A campaign slogan in 1964 said, "All the way with these 3 letters." Yes, player 1? No. Sorry. Any other takers? Here's the response we were looking for. LBJ. Select again. All right, here with the clue is Jimmy.
Abraham Lincoln began appearing on billions and billions of pennies in this year, the 100th anniversary of his birth.
Here's the response we were... 1909. Player 3, you pick again, please. According to its website, this chain serves more than 1 billion finger-licking good chicken dinners annually. Player 1?
Yeah!
Good. All right, let's get back into this. Player 1 has control of the board. Forbes magazine has estimated that this comic book boy is worth $24.7 billion. It's player 3. All right, let's get back into this. Player 3 has control. The only event the Time Almanac has listed under the heading 4.5 billion BC is this formed. Here's what we were looking for. Earth. Player 3, pick again. I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people, he said in accepting his 1932 nomination. Okay, player 2. That's correct. Player 2, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? The 1976 ticket of Jimmy Carter and this running mate was dubbed Fritz and Grits. Player 3? Yes. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player 3. In 1916, he campaigned under the slogan, "He kept us out of war." Here's what we wanted. Woodrow Wilson. Please pick again, player 3. The Whigs used a log cabin as a symbol in his 1840 campaign. Player 2.
Aww.
Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? Let's hear it, player 1. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's player 3. You are correct. You again, player 3. Galena is the principal ore of this metallic element, symbol Pb. Okay, player 2. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Okay, player 1. That is correct. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue. Scoria, a dark glassy rock created from this, is heavier than pumice and has bigger holes. Here's the correct response. Lava. Player 1, choose again. On the Mohs scale, this mineral can be scratched by every other mineral. Here's the correct response. Talc. Player 1, back to you for... This eccentric billionaire formed an aircraft company in 1934 to design racers. It's player 2. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we wanted. Howard Hughes. Player 1, back to you for our next... In the early 1920s, she scandalized Atlanta society by doing a provocative dance at a debutante ball. It's player 1. Correct. Player 1. Pick again. Mark Twain said, "I came in with this in 1835. It is coming again next year, 1910, and I expect to go out with it." He did. We're talking about Halley's Comet. You again, player 1. He wrote his last short story, The Betrothed, shortly before his play, The Cherry Orchard. Yes, player 2. No, sorry. Anyone else? Here's the correct response. Anton Chekhov. Player 1, choose again. Answer, the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Player 1, give us a wager. Here is your Daily Double clue. This novelist who wrote about gorillas in Congo passed away in 2008. However, you keep your lead. Here's the response we were looking for. Michael Crichton. Here's the $1,000 clue for you. His father disapproved of his poetry writing, so Chile's Naftali Ricardo Reyes Basualto adopted this pen name. Here's the correct response. Pablo Neruda. Okay, we have player 2 in third place, which means that player 2 will go first in the Double Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Flowers. Which president's cabinet? Famous Canadians. Right on, soldier. A side of Kevin bacon. And have you ever seen the like? Notice the quotation marks on like. Player 2, you're in command of the board as we continue. In 1917 and 1918, Ontario's Billy Bishop claimed 72 aerial victories as an ace in this war. Here's what we were looking for. World War I. Toronto-born journalist Morley Safer began co-hosting this TV news magazine way back in 1970. Here's the correct response. 60 minutes. You again, player 2. A student at Sandhurst, he later served in British military intelligence before creating his British super spy. Okay, player 1. Is correct. Player 1, you start. 5-word phrase repeated by Dorothy Gale when clicking her heels together in The Wizard of Oz. Okay, player 1. Yeah. That's right. Way to go. We return to you, player 1. 3-word cliché used of exotic food. Ramona said it about rat on The First Survivor. Okay, player 2. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player 3. No, that's not right. Any other takers? Let's hear it, player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1, choose again. In all this, the state or fact of being probable. We're talking about likelihood. You again, player 1. Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. You are currently in the lead. What are you going to wager? Here is your daily double clue. Doppelganger. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. You again, player 1. Ovine. It's player 1. That's right. Way to go. We return to you, player 1. Kevin had to go to space camp before playing the role of Jack Swigert in this film. It's player 2. No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Let's hear it, player 1. Right. Please pick again, player 1. On March 22, 1994, the Dutch ambassador to the United States gave her a new tulip named for her. Here's what we wanted. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Please pick again, player 1. Singularly speaking, the bright blue cornflower is known as this button. Okay, player 1. Right. Player 1. Pick again. Kevin had a cup of coffee in this 1982 Barry Levinson ensemble piece with chums Mickey Rourke, Paul Reiser, and Tim Daly. Player 2. Right. Player 2, make a selection, please, as we continue. Answer, the second Daily Double. Player 2, you're in last place, but here's an opportunity to catch. How much are you going to win? And the Daily Double clue. Holy triskaidekaphobia. Special effects guru Tom Savini had an arrow shoved through Kevin's throat in this 1980 flick. That's not it. Here's the correct response. Friday the 13th. Player 2, back to you. This country isn't out of kilter with the thistle as its national flower. Okay, player 1. Sorry. Anyone else? Here's the correct response. Scotland. Player 2, back to you. And here's Jimmy.
Also called galanthus, it's among the earliest garden flowers to blossom in spring.
We're talking about the snowdrop. Select again. Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Okay, player 1. Woo! Right you are. Player 1, make a selection, please, as we continue. Kevin could handle the truth as Captain Jack Ross in this 1992 legal drama written by Aaron Sorkin. It's player 1. Good for you. We return to you, player 1. Kevin played Ensign Pulver in the TV remake of this 1955 movie. Player 2.
Yeah!
Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as we can. Bloom forms of this large hardy perennial include spoon, quill, and pompon. Let's hear it, player 2.
Aww.
Any other takers? Here's the response we were looking for. The chrysanthemum. You get to pick again, player 2. This author of Starship Troopers was a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. Let's hear it, player 3. That's not it. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 1? Yes! Okay, let's get back into this. Player 1, you make the next. And here's Jimmy.
This mariner's 16th century explorations of the Gulf of St. Lawrence laid the basis for French claims to Canada.
Yes, player 2. Yes. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as we co-discoverer of this pancreatic hormone, Ontario's Frederick Banting won a 1923 Nobel Prize. Here's the correct response. Insulin. Player 2, choose again. Secretary of State Dean Rusk, both JFK and him. Here's what we were looking for. Lyndon Johnson. Please pick again, player 2. Secretary of Education William Bennett. Secretary of State George Shultz. Okay, player 2.
Oh.
Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player 1? Yeah, you're right. Player 1, you start us off. Secretary of Labor George Shultz, Attorney General John Mitchell. It's player 2. Sorry. Any other takers? Player 1? Yeah. That's right. Way to go. We return to you, player 1. Secretary of the Interior James R. Garfield. Secretary of War William Howard Taft. Player 3? That's correct. Player 3, start us. Lew Wallace served as a major general in this war before penning Ben-Hur. We're talking about the Civil War. You get to pick again, player 3. This Nova Scotia man founded a famous line of ships in 1838. It's player 3. That's right. Way to go.
Yeah! Woo!
Player 3. Pick again. Edward Gibbon was a captain in the Hampshire Grenadiers before writing The Decline and Fall of this empire. Let's hear it, player 3. Right you are. And the last clue for $2,000. This Grecian fought at Salamis and Marathon. His 70 plays include The Oresteia and Prometheus Bound. Here's the correct response. Aeschylus. Sorry, player 2. Your score is not on the positive side, so you will not be joining us for Final Jeopardy. Now, Final Jeopardy coming right up right now with this category. Authors. You need to select your wager. Here's the clue for you. In 1949, he wrote, "If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever." What did you put as your response? With that correct response, you will gain. And your response? And this correct response will add how much to your score? Congratulations, Player One. You are our new champion. So long, everybody.